I never thought a Tuesday night would turn me into the building's hero, but here's the thing about being invisible. Sometimes it's the invisible people who know where all the switches are. I'm standing in my apartment, reheating leftover Thai food, when I hear it. Not a normal sound. Not the usual banging pipes or Mrs. Rodriguez's TV bleeding through the walls or the couple in 4C having their nightly discussion about whose turn it is to take out the trash. This is different. This is a rushing sound, like someone turned on a fire hydrant inside the walls. The microwave beeps. I ignore it. The sound gets louder. Definitely water. Definitely a lot of it. Then the screaming starts. I drop my fork and run to the door, yanking it open, and that's when I see water absolutely pouring down the hallway ceiling like someone installed the world's worst waterfall. It's not just dripping, it's cascading. Sheets of water coming from somewhere above, crashing down onto the hallway floor, already pooling around everyone's welcome mats. Mrs. Rodriguez from 3B is in her bathrobe, clutching her chihuahua, shrieking in Spanish. The dog is barking. She's pointing at the ceiling. The water is hitting her doorway. The college kids from 3A are standing in their doorway, filming it on their phones like this is content. One of them is laughing. The other looks genuinely concerned, but is still filming. And Brandon from 3D, the guy who always gives me the barest head nod when we pass, like acknowledging my existence physically pains him, is yelling something about calling 911. He's in basketball shorts and a t-shirt, his hair sticking up like he was sleeping. "It's the pipes!" someone shouts from down the hall. "We're flooding! The ceiling's gonna collapse!" More doors open. More people emerge. Everyone's talking at once. The noise is incredible. The water is getting worse by the second. And here's where I need to give you context, because you need to understand, I am nobody in this building. I've lived here for 8 months, and I'm pretty sure half my neighbors don't know my name. I'm the quiet guy in 3F who works from home, orders too much takeout, and whose most exciting contribution to building life was holding the door open for someone once. I'm Ryan, by the way, 27, graphic designer, moved here after my roommate situation imploded. I chose this building because it was cheap and I could afford my own place, even if it meant living in a building from the 1970s, with questionable plumbing and neighbors who treat me like I'm a ghost. But here's what none of them know. I grew up in a building like this. My dad was a superintendent for 20 years. I spent my childhood following him around, learning how buildings work, where the important shutoffs are, which sounds mean something's about to break and which ones are just old buildings being dramatic. The water is getting worse. It's not just dripping now. It's cascading, pooling in the hallway, starting to seep under doors. I can see it creeping toward my apartment, toward everyone's apartments. A ceiling tile falls, just drops right out of the ceiling and splashes into the water below. Everyone screams. "Someone call the super!" Mrs. Rodriguez shrieks. Her chihuahua is absolutely losing it now, barking nonstop. "He's not answering!" Brandon yells back, his phone pressed to his ear. "Straight to voicemail! Try 911! For a pipe? Yes, for a pipe! We're flooding!" Someone else is crying now. I can't see who. The hallway is chaos. Water is everywhere. People are panicking. My apartment. A woman from 3E, Lauren I think her name is, emerges in sweatpants and a tank top, looking at the water in horror. "It's coming under my door." "Mine too!" someone else shouts. I watch this chaos unfold for exactly 3 seconds before something in me just clicks. Maybe it's muscle memory. Maybe it's 8 months of being ignored finally boiling over. Maybe I'm just tired of being nobody. "I know where the shutoff is," I say. Nobody hears me. They're all yelling over each other. The water is getting louder, and someone's apartment alarm is going off now. A shrill beeping that cuts through everything. "I know where the shutoff is," I say again, louder this time. The hallway goes quiet. Well, not actually quiet. The water is still rushing. The alarm is still beeping. The chihuahua is still barking. But the people stop talking. Everyone turns to look at me like I just materialized out of thin air. Brandon squints at me like he's trying to remember if we've met. "Who are you?" I'd be offended if I wasn't used to it. "I'm Ryan, 3F, and I can stop the water, but I need to get to the basement. Now." "The basement?" The college kid, I think his name is Jake, looks skeptical. Water is dripping off his phone. "Why would—" "Because that's where the main shutoff valve is," I interrupt. "This is a vertical pipe burst, probably 3rd or 4th floor. We shut off the main line, the water stops. We stand here arguing, your ceiling collapses and floods the 2nd floor, and we're all dealing with way bigger problems." Another ceiling tile falls. This time, no one screams. They just stare at it. There's a beat of silence. Water continues to pour. The alarm keeps beeping. Mrs. Walsh appears in her doorway across from mine, takes one look at the waterfall, and starts praying in what sounds like Polish. She's making the sign of the cross. Her hands are shaking. "How do you know this?" Brandon asks, and there's something in his voice, not quite suspicious, but close. Like he wants to believe me, but isn't sure he should. "My dad was a super. I grew up in buildings. I've seen this before. Are we doing this or not?" I can see him calculating, weighing whether to trust some guy he's never really talked to. The water makes the decision for him. It's ankle deep now. Someone's welcome mat floats past. Another beat. Then Lauren from 3E, the woman I've literally only ever seen in full makeup and business attire, even on weekends, steps forward. She's in sweats right now, which is somehow more shocking than the flood. Her hair is in a messy bun. She looks real for the first time since I moved in. "I'll go with you," she says. "Someone should witness this in case you're wrong and we get sued." "I'm not wrong," I say, but I'm already moving, sloshing through the ankle-deep water in the hallway. It's cold. My socks are immediately soaked. Lauren follows, and behind us I hear the stampede of everyone else deciding to come too, because apparently this is now a group activity. We thunder down the stairs, me in the lead, Lauren right behind me, then Brandon, Jake, and his roommates, Mrs. Rodriguez still clutching her dog, even Mrs. Walsh who's moving surprisingly fast for someone who's got to be in her 70s. My feet are squishing in my wet socks. The stairwell echoes with all of us running. Someone almost slips. "Careful!" I shout back. "Where is everyone from the 2nd floor?" Lauren pants as we hit the landing. As if summoning them, doors start flying open on the 2nd floor. A guy in boxers and a gaming headset stumbles out, looking confused. "What's happening?" "Pipe burst upstairs," I call back, not stopping. "Getting worse. Stay in your apartments if you can." "The water's coming through my ceiling," a woman shouts from 2D. She's standing in her doorway pointing up. I can see wet wet spots spreading across her ceiling. Not for long, I say, hitting the first floor and making a beeline for the basement door. It's tucked next to the mailboxes, painted the same color as the wall like someone wanted people to forget it exists. And I'm praying it's not locked because if it is, I'm going to look like the world's biggest idiot in front of all these people. The handle turns. Thank God. Yes, Jake says behind me. The basement stairs are concrete, narrow, and smell like every basement that's ever existed. Damp, musty, with a hint of something that might be mold or might just be decades of accumulated basement smell. The single bulb at the top barely illuminates anything. I can see maybe 3 steps down before it's just darkness. Is there a light? Lauren asks behind me. Her voice echoes. Should be, I say, feeling along the wall. My hand finds the switch and I flip it. Nothing happens. Shit. What? Brandon sounds panicked. The light's not working. Or the switch is. Hold on. I flip it again. Again. On the third try, a series of fluorescent lights flicker to life, revealing the basement in all its creepy glory. Concrete floor, exposed pipes running along the ceiling, old storage units with rusted padlocks, and somewhere in the distance, the ominous hum of the building's boiler. This is horror movie territory, Jake mutters. Yeah, well, so is being flooded. I shoot back, scanning the space. The shutoff valve should be near the water main, which should be. My eyes track the pipes, following the biggest ones. There, I point to the far corner where a maze of pipes converges. There's a big wheel valve, the kind you see in submarine movies, painted red at some point in history, but now mostly rust. It's huge, maybe 2 feet in diameter. We all splash across the basement, because yes, there's water down here too, about an inch of it, which means the flood is worse than I thought. And I'm vaguely aware that I'm leading a parade of my neighbors through a flooding basement, and they're all trusting me based on literally nothing except the fact that I said I knew what I was doing. No pressure. The water in the basement is freezing. It soaks through my already wet socks and makes everything slippery. Watch your step, I call out. There's stuff on the floor. Someone, I think it's Mrs. Walsh, almost trips. Lauren catches her arm. I'm okay, Mrs. Walsh gasps. I'm okay. We reach the valve and I wrap both hands around the wheel. The metal is cold and crusty under my palms. I can feel rust flaking off. Everyone might want to step back. If this thing hasn't been turned in a while, it might. I pull. The valve doesn't budge. I pull harder. Nothing. It's like trying to turn a wheel that's been welded in place. Problem? Brandon asks, and I can hear the skepticism creeping back into his voice. The doubt. Like he knew this was too good to be true. It's stuck, I say, trying again, putting my whole body into it. The metal is cold and rough under my palms, and I'm pulling with everything I have, but the thing won't move. Probably hasn't been turned in years, maybe decades. Great, Jake says. So we're screwed? No, I say, but my heart is pounding now. What if I can't do this? What if I'm wrong? What if... Stop! Focus! I look around the basement. There has to be something. Some way to get leverage. I just need leverage. Something to extend the grip. Like what? Lauren asks. She's right next to me now, close enough that I can hear her breathing. I spot it. A metal pipe about 2 feet long, leaning against the wall near someone's storage unit. Probably left over from some repair job. I splash over and grab it. It's heavy. Solid. Perfect. I thread it through the wheel valve, creating a longer lever arm. Basic physics. My dad taught me this. More leverage means less force needed. Physics, I say, positioning myself. Everyone stand clear. They step back. The basement goes quiet except for the hum of the boiler and the distant sound of water still rushing upstairs. I throw my whole body weight onto the pipe. For a second, nothing happens. I'm pulling so hard my arms are shaking. My feet are slipping in the water. Then, with a groan that sounds like the building itself is protesting, the valve starts to turn. It's moving! Mrs. Rodriguez gasps. Her chihuahua barks. I keep turning hand over hand, the wheel squeaking and grinding. 1 rotation. The sound is awful. Metal on metal. Rust breaking free. 2 rotations. The rushing sound from upstairs starts to fade. 3 rotations. Is it working? Someone asks. 4 rotations. 5. And then silence. Well, not complete silence. There's still dripping. Still the echo of water damage happening above us. But the main flood has stopped. The rushing sound is gone. Did it work? Someone asks. We all stand there, breathing hard, staring at the valve like it might suddenly reverse itself. Water drips from the pipes above us. 1 drop, 2 drops, then nothing. Then Lauren's phone buzzes. She looks at it. Olivia from 4B says the water stopped. The basement erupts in cheers. Mrs. Rodriguez is crying and hugging her dog. Jake and his roommates are high-fiving. Brandon is standing there with this look on his face like he can't quite believe what just happened. And Lauren turns to me with this expression I've never seen before. Like she's actually seeing me for the first time. Really seeing me. Ryan, she says. That was incredible. It was just a valve, I say, but I'm grinning like an idiot because holy shit, it actually worked. I did it. I actually did it. You saved the building, Mrs. Walsh says, and she sounds awed. Her hands are still shaking, but she's smiling. I turned off the water, I correct. The building still needs repairs. The super still isn't answering, Brandon says, checking his phone. But you know what? I don't care right now. You stopped it from getting worse. That's huge. Jake claps me on the shoulder. Hard. Dude, that was insane. How did you know about the lever thing? My dad, I say. He taught me. Leverage. It's all about leverage. Your dad is a genius, Jake's roommate says. I think his name is Connor. We make our way back upstairs, and this time the walk is different. People are talking to me, asking me questions. How did I know? Where did I learn? Have I done this before? I answer as best I can, still kind of stunned that this is happening. That I'm not invisible anymore. That people are actually looking at me, talking to me, caring about what I have to say. When we reach the 3rd floor, the hallway is a disaster. Water everywhere. Ceiling tiles sagging. Some have fallen completely. Someone's welcome mat is floating like a sad boat. There's a shoe. Just 1 shoe, floating in the middle of the hallway. But it's not getting worse, and that's something. That's everything. Everyone should check their apartments, I say, falling into this weird leadership role I definitely didn't ask for. Document any damage with photos for insurance. And someone needs to keep trying the super or the building management company. They need to know what happened. I'll do that, Lauren says immediately. I'm good at making people answer phones. I'll start a group chat, Jake offers, already pulling out his phone, for the building so we can all stay updated. Good idea, I say. I'll contact my insurance, Brandon adds. And then he looks at me. Actually looks at me. Not through me. Not past me. At me. Ryan, right? Thank you, man. Seriously. It's the most words he's ever said to me. me. I nod, suddenly feeling awkward again. Yeah, no problem. I'm just going to check my apartment. But as I turn to go, Mrs. Rodriguez grabs my arm. Her hand is small, but her grip is strong. You come to my apartment tomorrow, she says firmly. I make you dinner. Real food. You too skinny. I'm really not. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. No arguments. She's not asking. She's telling. She shuffles off before I can protest, and I'm left standing there with Lauren, who's smiling at me. It's a real smile. Not polite, not distant. Real. You just became the building's favorite person, she says. I hope you're ready for that. I'm not, I admit. I'm really, really not, she laughs. Too late now. You're the hero. Own it. She heads to her apartment, and I finally make it to mine. The door is still open from when I ran out. My Thai food is congealed on the counter. The microwave is still showing 0.03 on the timer, but my apartment is dry. No water damage. I'm on the side of the building away from the main pipe, apparently. I close the door and lean against it, my heart still racing. What the hell just happened? My phone buzzes. It's a text from a number I don't recognize. Jake added you to Building 3 residence. Then the messages start flooding in. Ryan, you're amazing. Where did you learn that? Can you look at my sink tomorrow? It's been dripping for weeks. My hero, that one's from someone named Sophia in 2C, who I've definitely never met. Ryan, it's Brandon from 3D. Wanna grab a beer sometime? Feel like I should actually know the guy who saved us all. Seriously, dude, that was wild. Ryan the legend. Can someone send me the super's number? I still can't reach him. Ryan, do you know anything about furnaces? Mine's been making a weird noise. I stare at my phone, watching the messages pile up. 30 messages, 40, 50. They're coming so fast I can't even read them all. 8 months of being invisible. And now, suddenly everyone knows my name. Everyone wants to talk to me. I don't know how to feel about this. I type a message to the group. Glad I could help. Everyone stay safe. Super will hopefully be here soon to assess everything. The responses are immediate. So humble. Ryan for building president? Seriously though, Ryan, thank you. You literally saved my apartment. Can I buy you a drink? My phone buzzes again. This time it's a direct message, not the group chat. It's Lauren. Hey, I know this is random, but I'm a paralegal. If you need any help navigating the building management company, or if they try to blame residents for the damage, let me know. Also, that was really cool what you did. Most people would have frozen. I read the message 3 times before responding. Lauren, the intimidatingly put-together woman from 3E who I assumed was way out of my league socially, is offering to help me, is telling me I did something cool. I type back, thanks. And yeah, if things get complicated, I might take you up on that. 3 dots appear immediately. Then, also, and I know this might sound weird, but I've lived here for 2 years and I don't think we've ever had a real conversation. Want to fix that? Coffee sometime? I stare at the message. Read it again. Lauren is asking me for coffee. Lauren, who I've literally never had a conversation with beyond hi in the hallway, is asking me for coffee. My hands are shaking as I type back. Yeah, I'd like that. Good. Tomorrow after work, there's a place on the corner. Sounds good. See you then, hero. I set my phone down and realize I'm smiling. An hour ago, I was heating up leftover Thai food in my anonymous apartment. Now I'm the guy who saved the building. I have a dinner invitation from Mrs. Rodriguez, a beer offer from Brandon, and a coffee date. Is it a date? With Lauren. The universe is weird. There's a knock on my door. When I open it, it's Mrs. Walsh from across the hall, holding a plate covered in foil. Pierogis, she says in her heavy accent. She pronounces it pierogis. You eat. You did good thing tonight. Before I can respond, she's pressing the plate into my hands. It's warm. She made these, just now, while everything was chaos. Thank you, I managed to say, but she's already shuffling back to her apartment. I look down at the still warm pierogis, then back at my cold Thai food. This day just keeps getting stranger. I eat the pierogis. They're incredible, filled with potato and cheese and something else I can't identify but tastes amazing, and spend the next hour monitoring the group chat while occasionally checking the hallway. The water has stopped spreading, but everything is still soaked. A few people have come out with towels and mops, trying to clean up what they can. Someone posts a photo of their ceiling. There's a huge water stain. Could have been so much worse. They caption it. Thanks, Ryan. Someone else posts a video of the waterfall from earlier. It has 60 views already. In our building group chat. Delete that before it goes viral, someone jokes. Too late, I already sent it to my sister. Make sure everyone knows Ryan saved us. I'm watching all this unfold when someone knocks again. This time it's Jake and Connor, the college kids from 3A. Hey, Jake says. So our ceiling is pretty bad. Like, really bad. We're not sure it's safe to stay there tonight. And we were wondering, you can crash here? I say before he finishes. Really? Yeah, I've got a couch and floor space. It's not great, but dude, that's awesome, Connor says. We'll grab some stuff. Be back in like 10 minutes? Sure. They disappear, and I look around my apartment. My quiet, orderly, always empty apartment. In 10 minutes, I'm going to have 2 college kids I barely know sleeping in my living room. This is the weirdest night of my life. I use the 10 minutes to clear off the couch, find some blankets, grab some pillows from my closet. When Jake and Connor come back, they're carrying backpacks and sleeping bags. You came prepared, I say. We camp sometimes, Jake explains. Well, we went camping once. These have been in our closet since. They settle in, and I offer them food. All I have is the Thai food, the pierogis, and some cereal. Pierogis sound amazing, Connor says. We end up sitting around my coffee table, eating Mrs. Walsh's pierogis and talking. Really talking. Not just hallway small talk, real conversation. That thing you did with the pipe, Jake says. The leverage thing. That's like basic physics, but I never would have thought of it. My dad always said you don't need to be strong if you're smart, I tell them. Find the right leverage point and you can move anything. Your dad sounds cool, Connor says. He is. He retired last year. Moved to Florida with my mom. They're living the beach life now. You miss him? Jake asks. Yeah, I admit. But he calls me every Sunday. Usually to tell me about whatever problem he's currently fixing in their condo complex, because apparently retirement doesn't mean actually stopping. They laugh and it feels good. Natural. Like maybe making friends in this building isn't impossible after all. So what do you guys do? I ask. Besides film floods on your phones. Hey, that's going to be a core memory, Jake protests. My grandkids will ask me about the flood of 2024 and I'll have video evidence. I'm studying engineering, he continues. Mechanical. Connor's pre-med. Future doctor, Connor says, then winces. If I can get through organic chemistry, it's killing me. My roommate in college barely passed orgo, I say. He's a doctor now. You'll be fine. We keep talking. About school, about work, about living in the city. They ask ask about my design work. I ask about their classes. Somewhere around midnight, we're still going. I can't believe we've lived across the hall for how long, Jake says. 8 months, I tell him. 8 months and we've never talked like this. I'm not exactly the most social person, I say. Neither are we, Connor admits. We mostly just stay in our apartment, study, game. We're not great at the whole neighbor thing. None of us are, apparently, I say. Took a flood to change that. Around 1 in the morning, there's a commotion in the hallway. We all get up and look out. The super, Tom, his name is Tom, has finally arrived. He looks absolutely panicked. I step out into the hallway. What the hell happened? Tom asks. He's staring at the damage, his face pale. Pipe burst, I say. About 3 hours ago now, I shut off the main valve in the basement. Tom turns to look at me. Really look at me. You shut off the main? Yeah, nobody could reach you, and it was getting worse. He runs a hand through his hair. Jesus, yeah, I had my phone off. I'm sorry, thank you. If this had kept going, he trails off, looking at the damage. This is already going to be expensive. If it had gone all night, more neighbors are emerging now. Brandon, Lauren, a woman from 4B I haven't met. They're all tired, all stressed, all looking at Tom like he has answers. How long until it's fixed? Brandon asks. I need to call in a plumber tonight for emergency assessment. Then we'll know more. But nobody can use water in their apartments right now. The main is still off. A collective groan goes through the hallway. For how long? Lauren asks. She's changed. Still in casual clothes, but dry ones. Her hair is down now. Until we can figure out which pipe burst and isolate it. Could be tomorrow morning, could be longer. So no showers, no toilets? Jake sounds horrified from behind me. There's a 24-hour gym 2 blocks away, I say without thinking. They have showers, and there's a Starbucks on the corner that'll let you use their bathroom if you buy something. Everyone turns to look at me again. What? I say. I work from home. I know the neighborhood. Tom is nodding. That's good thinking. Look, I'm sorry about this, everyone. The building management company will be sending out information tomorrow about repairs, insurance claims, all of that. For tonight, just document your damage and try to get some sleep. Sleep where? Mrs. Rodriguez demands. She's appeared again, still in her bathrobe, still clutching her chihuahua. My ceiling is dripping. I've got space, I hear myself say. If anyone needs somewhere dry to crash, I've got a couch and floor space. Why am I saying this? I don't know these people. An hour ago, they barely knew I existed. But Mrs. Rodriguez's face softens. You are a good boy, she says. But I go to my daughter's. She lives in Queens. I call her now. I've got a friend I can stay with, Brandon says. But thanks, man, really. Others chime in with their plans. Most people have somewhere to go, at least for one night. Tom pulls me aside while everyone's talking. Hey, Ryan, right? Yeah. Listen, what you did tonight, shutting off that main valve, that took knowledge and guts. Most people wouldn't have known where to look, let alone what to do. My dad was a super, I say. I grew up around this stuff. Still, you did good. Really good. He pauses. How would you feel about being on call for stuff like this? Not officially, just if something happens and you're around. The building management's been on me about having backup. I don't know. Maybe? Think about it. I'll talk to the management company tomorrow. We could work something out. Pay you for your time. Okay, I say because I don't know what else to say. Tom nods and goes back to assessing the damage, taking photos, making calls. I retreat to my apartment where Jake and Connor are still up, sitting on the floor with my laptop open. We're looking up what you did, Jake says. The valve thing. There's whole YouTube videos about it. Really? Yeah, look. He turns the laptop around. There's a video called How to Shut Off Your Main Water Valve. Emergency Guide. That's exactly what you did, Connor says. Except you made it look easy. It wasn't easy, I tell them. That valve was stuck solid, but you figured it out, Jake says. That's the point. Everyone else was panicking and you knew what to do. I don't know how to respond to that, so I don't. We finally crash around 2:30. I give them actual blankets and pillows. I'm not a monster, and retreat to my bedroom. My phone has finally stopped buzzing with group chat messages, and I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, processing everything. 8 months? 8 months of being nobody, and one burst pipe changed everything. My last thought before falling asleep is about Lauren, about coffee tomorrow, about how she looked at me in the basement when the valve finally turned, like I was someone worth looking at. I fall asleep with my phone still in my hand. The next morning, I wake up to the smell of coffee. I stumble out of my bedroom confused because I definitely didn't set up my coffee maker last night. In my kitchen, Jake and Connor are standing there looking sheepish. Sorry, Jake says. We found your coffee and figured we owed you. Hope that's okay. More than okay, I say, accepting the mug he hands me. The coffee is strong. Perfect. Is the water back on? I ask. No, Connor says. We had to go to that gym you mentioned. Got day passes. Showered there. It was actually pretty nice. They have a sauna, Jake adds. We might get memberships. There's a knock at the door. When I open it, Tom is standing there with a tall woman in a business suit. Even at 8 in the morning, she looks like she's been awake for hours. Ryan, Tom says. This is Patricia from the building management company. She wants to talk to you about last night. Patricia extends her hand. Her grip is firm. Professional. Mr. Ryan. Just Ryan, I interrupt. Ryan, I understand you were instrumental in preventing further damage to the building last night. The management company would like to thank you formally. I sip my coffee. It's fine, I just turned a valve. You potentially saved us hundreds of thousands in additional damages, Patricia says. That's not nothing. We'd like to offer you a reduction in rent for the next 3 months as a thank you. I almost choke on my coffee. What? 3 months. 50% reduction. It's the least we can do. I stare at her. 3 months of half rent. That's a lot of money. Okay, I say, because what else am I supposed to say? We'd also like to discuss hiring you as a building liaison of sorts, Patricia continues. Someone residents can contact for minor issues before calling emergency services. Tom has been handling everything alone, and clearly that's not sustainable. I look at Tom, who's nodding. You'd be good at it, kid. And honestly, I could use the help. I'll think about it, I say, because I'm still half asleep and this is a lot. Take your time, Patricia says, handing me her card. The rent reduction stands either way. You earned it. Call me when you've decided. After they leave, I turn to find Jake and Connor grinning at me. Dude, Connor says, you're like a superhero now. I turned off water, I say. You saved the building and now they're paying you, Jake corrects. That's a pretty good Tuesday. He's not wrong. The rest of the morning is surreal. I try to work. I have a client project due, but I keep getting interrupted. Neighbors stopping by. Some want to thank me. Some want to ask about the repairs. Some just want to chat, like we're old friends now. It's overwhelming. I'm not used to this much attention, this much being seen. Around 11, Mrs. Rodriguez Rodriguez stops by with a container of food. For lunch, she says. Arroz con pollo, you need real food. You don't have to. I know I don't have to. I want to. You saved my home. I feed you. This is how things work. She leaves before I can argue. Jake and Connor finally head out around noon, promising to come back if their apartment isn't safe. I'm alone again, and the silence feels different. Not lonely, just quiet. The good kind of quiet. I actually get some work done, answer some client emails, make progress on a logo design, check the building group chat every few minutes. The plumber found the burst pipe, 4th floor, in the wall. Repairs start tomorrow. Water might be back on tonight. Good news at least. At 3 I change my shirt, then change it again, then feel ridiculous about it because it's just coffee with a neighbor. Except it's not just coffee with a neighbor. It's coffee with Lauren, who I've been intimidated by for 8 months, and who apparently wants to fix the fact that we've never really talked. I'm overthinking this. I'm definitely overthinking this. I meet her at the coffee shop on the corner at 4. She's already there, sitting by the window, still in her work clothes but with her jacket off. She waves when she sees me. Hey, she says when I walk over. What do you want? My treat. Heroes don't pay. I'm not a hero, I say automatically. You keep saying that and yet you literally saved our building. She's smiling though, teasing. I order a black coffee because I'm boring, and she gets something complicated with oat milk and vanilla. We grab the table she was sitting at, right by the window where we can see people walking by. So, Lauren says, settling into her chair. Ryan, 3F, graphic designer, building savior. What else should I know? That's pretty much it, I say. Not very exciting. I don't know, she says. Last night was pretty exciting. Last night was an accident. I just happened to know where the shutoff was. Because your dad was a super, she says. You mentioned that. That's actually really cool. Did you always know you didn't want to follow in his footsteps? The question catches me off guard. Most people don't ask about stuff like that. They ask surface level things. Where I'm from, what I do, small talk. I mean, I thought about it, I admit. When I was a kid, it seemed cool. My dad knew how to fix everything. People came to him with problems. He was like this neighborhood hero, you know? But then I realized I liked making things more than fixing them. Design made more sense. Do you like it? The design work? Most days, I say. It's freelance, so it's inconsistent. Some months are great. Some months I'm eating ramen and wondering if I should get a real job. But I like the freedom, the ability to work on different projects. What about you? Paralegal, right? Yeah. Corporate law, it's fine. Pays well. Interesting some days, soul-crushing others. She pauses, stirring her coffee. I keep saying I'm going to go back to school, get my full law degree, but she trails off and I wait, not filling the silence, just letting her think. But I'm scared, she finishes. I'm 31. It feels like if I don't do it soon, I never will. And what if I hate it? What if I'm not good enough? You'd be good enough, I say without thinking. She looks up at me. You don't know that. You barely know me. I know you shut off your emotions to do corporate law stuff, I say. That takes discipline and smarts. And you offered to help me with the building management company thing last night. You think strategically. That's what lawyers do, right? She's quiet for a moment, then smiles. You're like aggressively optimistic, you know that? Am I? Yeah, in a nice way. Last night, when everyone was panicking, you just knew what to do. And now you're telling me I can change careers at 31 like it's no big deal. It's not, I say. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's possible. My dad became a super at 35. Before that, he was an accountant. Hated it. Changed careers completely. Best decision he ever made. Really? Really, it's never too late, if you want it. She studies me over her coffee cup. How have we lived in the same building for 8 months and never talked before? Because I'm invisible, I say without thinking. You're not invisible. I was until last night. That's not true, Lauren says, and she sounds almost offended. I noticed you. I don't know. I'm bad at talking to people outside of work. I put on the suit, I do my job, I come home, and then I don't know how to be a person anymore. I stare at her. That's exactly how I feel. Really? Yeah, I work from home, so I don't even have the suit excuse. I just exist, order takeout, do my work, stay in my lane. It's easier than trying to connect with people who don't seem interested in connecting back. I'm interested, Lauren says quietly. For the record, I have been. I just didn't know how to start a conversation that wasn't about building maintenance or package deliveries. My heart does this weird flip thing. Well, we're talking now. Yeah, she grins. Only took a flood to make it happen. We talk for 2 hours. About everything. Our jobs, our families, why we moved to this building, the weirdest neighbors we've met. She tells me about her sister in Boston who's getting married next year and is driving everyone crazy with wedding planning. I tell her about my brother who works in tech and thinks I should monetize my brand even though I barely have a brand to monetize. What does that even mean? Lauren asks, laughing. I have no idea. He keeps sending me articles about personal branding and Instagram algorithms. I don't even post on Instagram. Same. I have an account. I think I've posted twice. Both times were accidents. At 6, I realize I have to leave for dinner at Mrs. Rodriguez's. Lauren walks back to the building with me. This was nice, she says as we climb the stairs. The hallway is still damp but cleaner than last night. Someone, probably Tom, has set up industrial fans. Yeah, I agree. We should do it again. Definitely. Maybe somewhere that's not related to building disasters next time. So not the basement, I joke. She laughs. Definitely not the basement. We reach the 3rd floor and pause outside our respective apartments. Thanks for the coffee, I say, and the conversation. Thanks for giving me something to think about, she says. The law school thing, I'm going to do it. Apply at least. See what happens. You'll get in. You don't know that. I have a good feeling about it. She smiles, and for a moment, we just stand there in the hallway. Then she reaches out and squeezes my arm. See you around, hero. Still not a hero, I say, but I'm smiling. She disappears into her apartment, and I head to Mrs. Rodriguez's place. The smell hits me before she even opens the door. Incredible. My stomach growls. Mrs. Rodriguez opens the door and immediately starts fussing over me, pulling me inside, telling me I'm too skinny, asking when I last had a home-cooked meal. Last week, I lie. It's been months. She narrows her eyes at me. You lie, I can tell. Sit. She makes me sit at her small dining table and proceeds to serve me enough food for 3 people. Arroz con pollo, tostones, black beans, maduros. Everything is incredible. Her daughter is there too. Sophia, who's maybe a few years older than me and keeps giving her mom significant looks that I don't quite understand. Mama talks about you all week, Sophia says. The quiet boy in 3F who never bothers anyone. And now the hero, Mrs. Rodriguez adds, beaming. I just turned off the water, I say for what feels like the 100th time today. You saved my apartment. Mrs. Rodriguez says firmly. My ceiling, it still drips, yes, but it could be worse, much worse. You have good heart. We eat and talk. Mrs. Rodriguez tells me about moving here from Puerto Rico 30 years ago, about her late husband who worked construction, about watching the neighborhood change over decades. Sophia talks about her job as a teacher, about her kids who apparently are little terrors but angels. You have kids? I ask. 2, Sophia says. 6 and 8, boys. They're with their father this week, but next week, she exchanges another look with her mother. Sophia needs babysitter, Mrs. Rodriguez says. You are a responsible person. You help? I don't really know anything about kids, I say. You know about responsibility, Sophia says. That's more than most people, and they're good kids, mostly. I'll think about it. Think fast, Sophia says, smiling. I need someone for next Saturday. By the time I leave, I'm stuffed. I have 2 containers of leftovers, and I've somehow semi-agreed to babysit 2 kids I've never met. How is this my life now? Back in my apartment, I collapse on the couch. My phone has been buzzing all evening. I check it. The building group chat is active again. Water is back on. Repeat, water is back on. Praise Jesus, I can shower in my own apartment. Plumber says repairs start tomorrow. Building management sent email about insurance stuff. And then, from Brandon, beer tomorrow night, Ryan? 7 p.m. at Murray's? I stare at the message. Brandon, my across-the-hall neighbor who barely acknowledged me for 8 months, wants to get beers. I type back, yeah, sounds good. His response is immediate. Cool. You're buying, though. Heroes don't pay. Wait, no, scratch that. I'm buying. You saved my stuff. I'm smiling at my phone like an idiot when there's a knock. It's Lauren holding a bottle of wine. I realized I forgot to actually thank you properly, she says. Can I come in? I step aside, and she walks into my apartment, looking around with open curiosity. It's the first time she's been in here. This is nice, she says. Clean. I expected more. I don't know. Bachelor pad energy. I'm a disappointing bachelor, I say. I don't think disappointing is the word I'd use. She sets the wine on the counter. Do you have glasses? I do. We sit on my couch with wine, and she tells me more about her day, about how work was chaos, because she couldn't stop thinking about the flood, about how her boss noticed she seemed distracted. Because I was, she says. I kept thinking about what you said, about it never being too late, about your dad changing careers. And I think I'm going to do it. Apply to law school. Not immediately, but soon. I've been making excuses for years, and I'm tired of excuses. That's amazing, I say. It's terrifying, she corrects. But yeah, also amazing. And I probably wouldn't have even considered it if we hadn't talked today, so thank you. Again, you're thanking me for a lot of stuff that wasn't really me, I point out. You're bad at taking credit, she observes. Has anyone told you that? My dad, constantly. She laughs, and we keep talking. The wine disappears. At some point, she shifts closer on the couch. At another point, her hand is on my arm when she's making a point about something. I am acutely aware of how close she is, how her hair smells like vanilla, how her eyes are actually hazel, not just brown. I should go, she says eventually, but she doesn't move. Yeah, I agree, also not moving. Tomorrow's a work day. It is, and I've kept you up late enough. Not that late, I say. It's almost midnight. She laughs. This was nice. The coffee, the wine, the actual conversation. We can do it again, I say. The conversation part, and the coffee, and the wine. All 3, she teases. If you want. I want, she says, and then she's leaning in, and I'm leaning in, and we're kissing on my couch, and this is definitely not how I expected this week to go. When she finally pulls back, we're both breathless. I should really go, she whispers. Probably, I whisper back. She stands up, and I walk her to the door. At the threshold, she turns back. Ryan? Yeah? I'm really glad you knew where that valve was. I smile. Me too. She kisses me again, quick and soft, then disappears into the hallway. I close the door and lean against it, my heart racing. What is happening? 24 hours ago, I was invisible. Now Lauren just kissed me in my apartment. Twice. I text my dad. You would have been proud of me this week. He responds immediately despite it being late. Always am, kiddo. What happened? I call him. Tell him everything. The burst pipe, the shut-off valve, the leverage, becoming the building hero overnight. Lauren, the coffee, the kiss. All of it. He laughs when I finish. Actually laughs. Told you those years following me around would pay off eventually. I know. Your mother wants to know if Lauren is nice. She's really nice, I say. Good. You deserve nice. Proud of you, Ryan. Really proud. We talk for another hour. About buildings and pipes and how he knew I'd use that knowledge someday. About how life works in weird ways. About how sometimes being invisible means you notice things other people miss. When I finally hang up and crawl into bed, I'm exhausted but wired. My mind is racing, processing everything that's happened in the last 30 hours. A pipe burst. I turned a valve. Everything changed. I fall asleep thinking about Lauren, about coffee tomorrow, about whatever this is becoming. And for the first time in 8 months, my apartment doesn't feel lonely. It just feels like mine.